There you go.
We've won the bloody lot. The Chemi boys of Paul. In their yellow, red, and green, you'll never hear us singing, even though I am.
The Hong Kong Python swallowed Dwayne Vermeulen whole. I saw him on stage dressed as a hot dog doing a Q&A. And he said the hot dog was the only option because they really dressed him as Elsa from Frozen.
If we had to pick a Springbok player to get signed by Eddie Hearn's agency, who would it be?
Frans Malamba.
So one security guard took a picture with you. You carried on walking and he came to me and he said, "Is that Bakkies Boerter?" Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Boks Unpacked. After another epic weekend of sports. Not if you're an Arsenal fan though. Could this be the league decider? But some fantastic rugby, some big upsets, and everything's going to be sorted out on the Boks Unpacked. We are online again. Jean de Villiers and Skalkberger with me. Jean, first of all, interesting background.
Yeah.
Do you have any gaming interest, or do you have a couch somewhere on a game farm with foreign currency?
No, I use the couch. I use the couch on weekends. I do not have a couch here. I'm in Stellenbosch. I'm at Atterbury's offices here in Stellenbosch. So they were kind enough to give me a boardroom just to do the call. So yeah, lovely. It looks like the bush. It's not. It's in Stellenbosch.
I was about to say, what a cover up. This looks at Pala on a Monday, guys. What's happening?
So there's finger and many pies, JDV, operator of note. So
No, we're meeting.
Stellenbosch. He's in Stellenbosch.
It's a meeting. We have meetings, and I was able to fit this in. But talking about fitting this in, Shami, I see you very well covered up. Obviously, the weather has changed here in Cape Town. It has gone from very hot to very cold very quickly. So you zipped up quite high. But do you want to maybe share what's underneath that jacket?
Okay, we'll start with the Betway section. So we promised it last weekend. I'll start with my forfeit. So you know me, I always go the extra mile. So I'll put the hat on.
Oh, there we go.
There you
go.
It is the tightest jersey
toy.
I've worn.
That's tight. That's tight.
Shami, but it suits you so well, Tol. That is unbelievable.
Why am I, man? So
actually, it looks so good.
I actually think it's not anymore the John de Villiers and a 16 pole gym tournament. It's the Nyani Shimangi pole gym and a 16 tournament.
We need a shimmy week. Okay, guys. So I've got to sing a song. I don't know the tune of the song, but I'll try give it. It's in English actually. So we've won the bloody lot. The Chemi boys of Paul. In their yellow, red, and green, you'll never hear us singing, even though I am. On the central Paul Street, allez, allez, allez. Even though it's in Paul and it's in French, okay? The Chemi boys of Paul, allez, allez, allez. There we go, boys.
Nice.
Yeah, Shami.
Good.
What is sport?
This is my new screensaver, boys. I've just taken a little screenshot, and this is my screensaver.
Oh, goodness. Look, we did beat you guys in 95. I'll throw that down.
No, thanks for being a great sport.
Thanks, Shami.
It's been a long time between drinks. Maybe it'll take us another 10 years to beat you guys.
Who did you play on the weekend, Shami? Did you not? Who did Gronobosch? Oh, you played Bull and Landpo, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know the score.
Okay, you don't want to know.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same result as Arsenal.
Look.
Yeah.
And Paul Jim played?
They played Grey College.
Grey College.
Another everyone. It's a very weak. They lost to Nudgee College from Australia. Nudgee College.
Nudgee College has been mentioned like 72 times on this show.
Exactly. Nudgee College. Anyway, well done to Paul Jim, guys. Okay, look, this is tight. I won't survive the whole show this, so I'll take it off.
No, you have to.
Okay.
It's good. It's good. It's good for recovery. Remember, recovery helps like rice. Rest, ice, compression, elevation. You're getting the compression.
No wonder why you guys look bigger than everyone else. Look how tight these things are. That's how they're designed. Around the arms to be tight.
Bicep.
Thank
It's a
you.
big
You
bicep.
don't buy
mate.
that macro. You don't buy that macro, my boy. You work hard for this, okay? Scarlett, sorry, how was your birthday week, by the way? Let's get through this part.
Yeah, it was so good, Shim. Birthday was on a Monday. Quite quiet, actually, although I had a few Monday beers, which, like, the week turns into a long one after that. And then this weekend, I wasn't on TV. I wasn't working. So my kid went to a big disco on Saturday evening, ended up at Graham Smith's house. He realized it was my birthday on Monday, and then he sort of just put a show on. So, yeah, it was a good Saturday evening. Absolutely loved it. I mean, how's a couple of big upsets on the weekend, boys? Not only Arsenal. I think I saw some tears rolling down one of my kids' face last night when Arsenal went down to Man City. I was like, "Are you crying?" He's
Shoot.
like, "No, I'm not. I'm definitely not." But then obviously the Stormers, big results.
Before we get to the Stormers color, let's also just mention that obviously the viewers can't see Freddie, our producer, who is on the call as well, massive Chelsea fan, but they also lost to Man United.
Shame.
Man United.
I don't think Chelsea scored a goal in the last 6 weeks. I mean, Freddie will help us, with the real fact, but they haven't scored a goal in, I think, 6 weeks or 6 games or something.
Let's talk about the winners, guys. Blitzboks doing us proud again. Hong Kong Sevens.
Unreal.
How was that? Did you guys watch the quarterfinal against Kenya?
Yeah.
Did you
Nah.
see that? I still do not know how we won that game. I mean, we went like, what was it, 10 points down. No, went 8 points down. So we had to score twice. And like, I don't know from where they found the magic to be able to score twice, get the win right at the end. I think it was Shakes Soizwapi who scored the last one. But like, so they were 2 points. We scored, and then we were 2 points down. So obviously we needed, more than 2 to get the win. On the attack, get a penalty like 2 meters, like 5 meters away from the try line, 2 meters left of the uprights. Okay. And Matt Pearson, we were actually watching it together before the Stormers game. And we're like, take the 3 points. And they quick tap and then score the try from there. But it's like, they get so into the zone. And it's so beautiful to watch when they do that. And then semi-final, amazing. Final, what a showing from the Blitzboks. Sure. We can be so proud of those boys.
No, it's incredible what they've managed to achieve. So let's talk. Scala, I don't know. Have you guys played in Hong Kong? Scala, did you play sevens or no?
No, never. I went there a couple of times to go watch. And the year I was there, like the Hong Kong Python swallowed Dwayne Vermeulen whole. I saw him on stage dressed as a hot dog doing a Q&A, guys. And he said the hot dog was the only option because they nearly dressed him as Elsa from Frozen. And I was like, okay, I'm glad you went with the hot dog.
That's one big hot dog. But
what do you call it? The Hong Kong Python.
The Hong Kong Python got Dwayne Vermeulen, swallowed him whole. But like I was there, I wasn't there alone. There's quite a few of us. I was playing golf and drinking lagers till 4 a.m. Look, it's one hell of a week. But I don't think you can do it every year. Like I was there the last time I was there, it was the last time they played at the old stadium in the middle of town with the big old South stand. Like they moved across the river to the new stadium. But it was some send-off. It's an unreal vibe. It's definitely, alongside Cape Town now, it's like the Marquee Sevens event. So like when you win those big games where there's 30,000 people pretty much non-stop having a party, it also means a bit extra.
Yeah. And it's 50 years of Hong Kong Sevens rugby, and the first time ever that the Blitzboks won it. So, great performance from our boys. But Hong Kong special, especially in terms of what they've created there for, call it a non-rugby playing nation, and it's building a lot of interest in terms of rugby. But that week of sevens in Hong Kong is just next level. I think all the corporates get involved. The sponsors of the tournaments get involved. The who's who kind of pops out, and I was fortunate to play in one Hong Kong sevens, and then I've been back since as well twice to go and support and see what it's all about. The last time I was there, so we did the one gig, and then I caught the train to get back to the hotel, and the first stop in walks Justin Harrison. So Justin
No
Harrison
way.
walks
Oh,
in,
Jesus.
and he's like, how you doing? Blah, blah. And he's like,
Yeah.
we're like, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Next stop, we stop, we get off, we go to the pub, just the two of us, there till like 2 o'clock in the morning, just the two of us sitting, having beers, catching up, back to the hotel after that. But that was an amazing evening. Just the
Yeah,
two
I
of
can
us sitting
imagine.
there. Oh,
Now you're talking, Jean. Now you're talking, boy.
yeah,
Better. I had to get it
lovely.
out of you.
Do you want to share your Hong Kong experiences with us, Shimi?
I've never been there.
No,
I'd
we
like
need to
to.
get to.
I tell you why
Let's
I'm
move on.
asking this, because I was in studio over the weekend with Victor, and we were watching this. Like, Shimmy, have you ever been to the Hong Kong Sevens? Victor's a lock. I'm like, no, Vic, I've never been there. He goes, you should go there. Yeah.
And he didn't sleep lots. I don't think he even checked into his hotel. I think he spent 48 hours there and didn't check into his hotel.
Yeah, because when you mentioned to me, he's like, Shimmy, you must go to the Hong Kong Sevens. I was like, okay. If Victor's endorsed it, Scala, you've endorsed it. Jean, it took you a while. But then Hong Kong Sevens is the place, the original Sevens tournament. You got to make a turn there. Quick news,
It
guys.
is.
Ibn's out for 2 months with a hip injury. Hurtagon's Connaught. So he might not, well, after 12 weeks, then 2 months now, he might not make the Springbok squad, or chances are he might be back. Then we got to look at lock options in terms of the Springboks.
Obviously, now RG Snyman, he's out.
Dave Ribbons?
When does he qualify? Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
I think he qualifies already.
Does JJ Fadamesh then get a problem like a shoe in? Is he like part of the squad then or not?
Well, he's part of the alignment squad, so it's called up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the lock options are wearing pretty thin. And you also look at the age profile of the locks. So
Yeah.
you got to start looking a bit deeper.
But let's go names. Let's go
Franco
names.
Mostert will come back into the mix, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Franco Mostert, Ruan Orkia, Luit. I think Luit de Jager might still be injured.
Salman Morat comes back soon.
Yeah, Salman
Okay.
is still injured as well. I think JJ van der Mesch certainly gets a look in now and might just get a first cap. John Klein still at Munster. Does he form part of the squad as well or not? And then a
Ruan
guy like
Venter?
JD Ruan Venter after the weekend's performance.
That's where I was leaning towards this. Like, what about our hybrids? What about a Peter Steph de Toy covering it? What about Elrich Lowe? What about Ruan Venter? Guys that they've done a role for the various franchises. Well, Peter Steph de Toy started as a 5 lock
Yeah.
for the first 10 years of his career.
If you're looking, especially for lock, front lock, Ruan Venter is a proper option in the way that he carries, hits racks. That's your typical 4-lock kind of what you want from him. But then also JJ van der Mesch. JJ van der Mesch. I think throwing that body around. I love his skill set.
One of the Premier boys
in
also,
terms of
maybe?
the way. Who knows? So we've got options, but not. Yes, it shows the depth that we have within South Africa.
But that
Also,
probably
guys,
takes care of our 6-2 split. Like, that's always when the 6-2 split might not be, used. Obviously, we've got a hybrid and Andre Esterhazy that's sort of forced his way onto the bench by playing loose forward and that. But maybe that's time to just go back to the stock standard 5-3 then.
It's also, I suppose Esterhazy gives you that option, whatever position he's covering. Then you got that hybrid option. Quickly, guys, All Blacks at Dave Rennie. There's going to be a travel party of approximately 80 for rugby's greatest rivalry. In South Africa, that's more. That's even more players than the British and Irish Lions. Look, it's obviously
a massive squad.
But I think I was sort of doing the sums. You need 2 coaching teams because obviously there's midweek games and then there's the All Blacks playing, and maybe that's where the pressure comes from. And then so the management team must be close to 20, I reckon. And then 40 players, or just round about there. That's massive, though.
No, wait.
No,
did you say
this is 60? No, Jeebus. Sorry. Plus,
how's your math? How's your math?
No, sorry. I'm talking about, coaches. Coaches, you get about 20. No, you won't get 20. Full management, doctors, physio, logistics.
Yeah, they'll be 20.
Yeah, but
That'll easily be
I mean,
20.
how do you add on 60 players then, Sculler? Does that make sense?
No, I
Look,
don't know who's coming with, but that I don't think you can manage more than 40 players. I think that's sort of, they're here for a month. Yes, they're playing a fair bit of games, 4 test matches, and then they've got to hop across to go play in Baltimore. But I think if it's too many of them, like I think it can be. How many players did Clive Woodward take on that one tour to New Zealand? Remember, he was Lions
05.
and they were 05, and they were an enormous group. And I think it actually worked to the detriment. And you see after that, post that, like players double up. So you don't have to play 80 minutes every weekend, but you're sort of involved in most of the games. So, I'm not too sure. It'll be interesting to see the breakdown. I'd love to see the breakdown.
I think what you can do though is you have your core coaching group, and then you might have like 2 separate medical groups. So doctor, physio, trainer, whatever, with the one, because I think some groups will maybe go, move towards the next venue, and some might stay behind. But you need medical staff with both those groups, wherever they might be at. So you have like a coaching group that kind of travels to all the games, but then medical staff both sides, and maybe even trainers on both sides that can deal with the fitness and the training program. But it's difficult.
I don't have the fixtures in front of me, but there's one game, I think it's a Cape Town test maybe, where they're still playing the Lions on the Tuesday. And then obviously that week will be a split week because you want the guys to be in Cape Town for the bulk of the week. But Joburg is where you're playing 2 of the 3 test matches. So, it's not even like you have to split them from then. If you play, say, the Sharks in Durban on a Tuesday, like it's a 40-minute travel flight. It's not like it's Cape Town. That's 2 hours, and this time of the year with a bit of weather it can be 2 hours 15. That's a fair bit of travel to do on a Wednesday before a test match. So I know that week. But the rest of the weeks, it's all up country. So I think it's pretty simple to travel in between the venues.
7th of August, Stormers.
7th August, Stormers, that's Cape Town. Then on the 11th, they play Sharks in Durban. Then they play the Bulls that weekend in Pretoria. Then they've got a week off before the first Ellis Park test. That's Joburg. Then they play on the Tuesday. That's the Lions fixture. That's the week I'm talking about. Then obviously the rest of them's coming down to Cape Town to play on that Saturday. And then they go back up to play, obviously, at
in
Soccer
Soweto.
City, the Calabash, and then Baltimore. So it's actually just that first 3 weeks that's going to be frantic, or 2 weeks that's really frantic before the test matches start. And then you got the split between the Lions and the Cape Town game. So, I mean, 80 seems a lot, but who knows?
60 seems reasonable. 60 seems the reasonable number, including coaches, medical staff, and players. That for me, that seems like a better number. But look, we'll see. They might change their minds. It's still early days. It's still a long way to go. When do the All Blacks play Stellenbosch, Sculler?
Well, I think Rassie Rasmus warm-up game before that. I can't see the Boks winning that one, guys.
You can't see
apparently, you go to certain venues and they say it's like a 20-point head start. I mean, that's what they've got on everyone in South Africa at the minute, Boks included.
Guys, let's talk. Okay, Finn Russell's become the 2nd player to sign with Eddie Hearn's agency. If we had to pick a Springbok player to get signed by Eddie Hearn's agency, who would it be?
Frans Malherbe. Definitely Frans Malherbe. Without a doubt. I think we just got to go the other way, guys. Yeah, Wilco. Yeah, we send a tight hit there. Yeah. I've got absolutely no idea. Got it.
Huh?
I mean, you're just waiting for them to somehow enter the ring and become a boxer. Yeah.
I think Sio's the kind of easy answer in terms of that. Just his profile and all of that. But I don't know if
Sasha.
I don't know how I feel. Yeah,
Sasha, also a good one.
Willemse.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I'm always trying to keep things simple when I'm playing rugby. I don't want to complicate stuff. This also seems like a bit of a complication. Before you know it, you'll be in the octagon wrestling something or boxing someone. Like it's You keep the main thing, I reckon. Just play rugby and the rest will look after itself.
I agree with Scala in that, yes, you sign with these agents, but what do they actually, what value do you gain by them managing you? I hear it so many times at schoolboy level, and parents would come and say, my son has just signed with this agent. What does that mean? I mean, the value only comes when they bring endorsements, when they bring sponsors, etc. And a lot of these guys have got profile. Well, if you're a schoolboy, a school kid, you don't really have a profile yet. But these guys that's already made it, they've got a profile already. So you're selling yourself in a way. So the question is, what additional value will these agents be able to add? And once they can show value there, well, then no problem.
Obviously, the landscape's changed from when we were playing. Like me and John was pretty adamant that we're going to play for the Stormers, and like we were, we were patient enough to get it there and then play there for a long, long time. And in the beginning, I think a good agent can negotiate you a decent deal, but then after a couple of years of you saying becoming a Springbok or becoming the best player at your franchise, then you've got a set value. That value is there. So the agent can maybe get you a couple extra bucks here or there, or get you better terms, 3 years plus one or exit clause earlier on it. But then after that, not a lot of rugby players are commercially, successful. Most of them are getting paid to be a rugby player, and that's it. So I think that market is quite tight. Like Sia Khaleesi, he's amazing how marketable he is, but I think he does it sort of for himself. A good agent's not going to make him more marketable. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting how the landscape changes, because often we sit with rugby and rugby players and we say, listen, we haven't really found our commercial sweet spot in any sport. Other sports sort of seem to leapfrog us, and I think cricket is obviously, a good testament to that. So, maybe they can make a change. I don't know. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, look, the man made darts a spectator sport, so you could do it with a rugby player. I mean, it's darts and snooker became spectator sports through Matchroom, and the Barry Hearn, the father's agency. So look, it's an interesting space with Matchroom getting involved in Eddie Hearn. So let's look and see.
Scala, do you think Reggie van Dijk is the Eddie Hearn of South African agents?
I would love to see him as a heavyweight boxer. He's got a rig worse than Tyson Fury's. I just want to see him run around there. I know, after a couple of rum and cokes, he'll be up for it. I mean, he might just get knocked out or blow a gasket within the first 90 seconds. But I would love nothing more as Reggie van Dijk promoting himself as the Eddie Hearn of Springbok rugby.
Shame, poor Reggie. You guys are nice schoolmates. Anyway, Reggie's an agent that went to Paul Gym, and he manages a lot of players in South Africa.
No, we're not claiming him. He never went to Paul Gym.
Guys, just quickly, we'll talk about the Premiership now. Saracens whacked up 85 points away at Sale.
Oof.
And Sale made the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup. That is big.
Yeah.
That is massive.
That's huge. But remember when the Sharks beat, who did they beat? Did they beat Gloucester? Did they beat Northampton? Or Gloucester in the Challenge Cup?
Gloucester.
Gloucester. And the week before that, obviously Gloucester changed quite a few players, but they took 95 the week before they played in the Challenge Cup final in the Prem. And Northampton ran 95 points past them, I think. So Sale's in trouble. They've also got a lot of injuries, like no Curries. I think the Dupreas, one of them at least, is injured. So, but still, 85 points in the Premiership.
Big.
That's not a good look. No.
Yeah, you can change your focus to a different competition, but I mean, whenever you get smashed like that, it can never be good for confidence. For those players involved and the bigger union itself.
Cody from Paul has sold multiple vehicles to WeBuyCars. Suspicious? I think so.
Is that a crime?
No. Where are you getting the cars?
I buy them and I sell them at the spot like a normal person.
Okay.
No, man, I'm just an accounting student. I know a good deal when I see one.
That's Excel meant. What's more stressful, tax season or selling a car at WeBuyCars?
Tax season, obviously.
WeBuyCars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Did you guys see the streaker in the Bath game? Like he got chased by
No.
7 security guards. It was Bath against Quins. A streaker ran on, but this guy was doing goose steps, sidestepping, and not one security guard could catch him. It took about 7 of them to catch him. Eventually, they caught him.
Where did they play?
It's
At the rec,
It
or-
was
Yeah, at the rec, the recreational. Listen, wait, maybe he just walks into a little contract there, Boykie, if he can keep 7 of them busy.
no, but I tell you, but we might not see a lot of streakers. Were you there? What game was it last year? No, 2 years ago at Nelspruit. It was it would have been the All Black test, and the
Yeah.
guys ran onto the field. But I think the guys that were watching, the ball boys or the security guys, a couple of them were like academy rugby players, and they just went and they were tackling. They were just smashing all these guys coming onto the field.
Like, I
Well,
also
I
don't know
even
if that's
saw-
the right. I also don't know if that's the right thing, because if something goes wrong there, boys, like that's proper issues. Like if a bloke gets seriously injured. I know one guy sort of tripped over his own feet and knocked himself out and blamed a bottle of brandy for it. But yeah, I sort of just look away and cringe. Like there's no control there.
Yeah, but also Sculler, like, if you are you saying that the fan that goes onto the field that he could be injured with one of those tackles? Because when you buy a
big time.
ticket, that's a disclaimer to say that you're not allowed to get onto the field. So if you do something like that, the stadium can't take any responsibility.
Look, if they give them an
so they
option,
do
listen, are you going to jail or are you taking a tackle? You're probably taking the tackle. You're
Taking
not
the
going to
tackle.
sleep at night in a jail in South Africa. That's not going to be a good idea either. Just stay in the stand, man.
but
I mean, how much brandy
they
can
do
make you that brave?
They do it all around the country now. Even this weekend for the Stormers game, as I went onto the field, I saw a bunch of these. There must be students or whatever booted up, ready to go, and they're basically the security now. So it's like amateur rugby players that they pay. Probably with a bottle of brandy to do it for the day, and they take it so seriously they can't wait for someone to actually go and try run onto the field and then to make a big hit. So I think it's become part of the spectacle.
Maybe we should get that guy. The guy ran at the rec. Let's tee him up to come to Nelspruit and see if he goose steps 7 blokes. I think that is what we got to do.
You won't lost one. Sorry, going back to the Nelspruit game. I still remember JDV. I can't remember if it was Georgia or All Blacks, and you were walking in front of me, and the one security guard took a picture with you. And then as you carried on walking, and he came to me and he said, "Is that Bakkies Boerter?" I still remember the story, and I told you that.
And then you said, "No,
he
that's
said-
Mike Borlates." Yeah, I know. I mean, 100%.
No. And then when he walked away, he said, "Okay, thanks, Trevor." Yeah.
No, but we walked through Tokyo once, and they took a photo of John, and they were like, "Is that Dolph Lundgren?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course it's Dolph Lundgren."
Yeah, I want to leave now.
Anyway, guys, let's talk. Okay, let's. Do you see Ellis Gange? Do you guys watching Ellis Gange? In a tunnel bust up with Afo Faso Gobon, the Glasgow prop.
No.
No, I didn't. Just say that
Jesus,
name
okay.
again.
This is the
Ellis Genge.
Um,
Ellis Genge
Afo
and who?
Faso Gobon. Afo Faso Gobon, the prop, Glasgow prop. Everyone knows him. SOGBON. Remember that?
yeah.
Remember 2 years ago that they were going at each other. Then when Gange went, if he waved at him, he sort of waved at him, and it became quite viral. This time a year
He's a
later,
youngster.
a season later, the Gloucester youngster.
So this was last week in the Champions Cup quarter.
Yeah, no, in the Premiership this last weekend.
In the Premiership, okay.
Great story.
And-
Okay.
And did they have a bust up, Shimmy? I don't know about
No, it was just a little
Did they have a
scuffle in that. I mean, the only time I've ever seen it was at Scotland. Who was it? Was it Scotland against England once? Where there must have been a tunnel bust up. We don't have it here. But it was Scotland against...
When did Curry do something in the tunnel? Remember that? Like
Yeah.
one of the Curry brothers ran off and he had a bust up with Argentina last year. Was it that game? I think it was Argentina last year. There was a bit of a scuffle
was a
between
game.
him and Filippo Contamponi, but also in someone
Contamponi.
else. Yeah.
You're right. But then also Ronan O'Gara and Johnny Sexton La Rochelle and Leinster.
that's
Can you remember
the one.
they also had?
Yes. They also
They
had a
had a bit
proper
of a-
grip at each other.
Yeah.
Now those, yeah, and also guys, talking about we spoke about the commercial side of sports. Bournemouth are closing in on a takeover of Exeter Chiefs.
Great.
So they're going to be. I remember the big one was a Dyson that bought into Bath last
Yes.
about a
Yeah.
month ago. James Dyson and Red Bull have bought Newcastle, and now it's Bournemouth are going to look at buying the Exeter Chiefs.
But what,
Is that
Bournemouth,
because they've
the
ring-fenced
football
the league
club?
now? So there's no risk. It mitigates risk because they've ring-fenced the league.
Yeah.
But is it the football club, Shami?
No, it's the darts club.
Bournemouth.
It's the bridge club at Bournemouth. What do you think?
Well, you've mentioned corporate companies like Dyson and Red Bull,
The
etc.
billionaire
And I said
owners of
Bournemouth.
the billionaire owners of Premier League side Bournemouth.
Okay. Well, that's better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. Is Bournemouth the town? The town's
What do you think? It was the
buying
old Ducks at the Bridge Club that are buying Exeter Chiefs. Come on now.
But
Walking with a
Shimmy,
boat.
Shimmy,
I
we've
don't know
mentioned
why I
this
do
before.
this.
That's to the Prem. If they close it up, I mean, before they lost a couple of clubs, you know, the marketability of those clubs, the fact that there's the security and they're ring fenced, would have gone through the roof. So, yeah, geez, like I mean, the Prem's under pressure. I mean, it's an amazing league. Let's hope they can get it right.
They've basically gone to almost a franchise system now. You've got private owners buying into it. The viewership will be good. Look, it creates a new product. I'm not sure how the salary cap works, but with a bigger salary cap, you can attract the bigger stars in rugby, you know, and you can actually build something special.
The Saracens will be happy with that then.
What's that? Here we go.
Here we go to the guys played two games for Leicester and came back and retired. What's the story of that, boys?
He's got a house there also.
Moving on.
And he's on a farm.
Yeah.
Moving on. Okay, our WeBuy Impact player.
Yes.
Okay, I need to get your WeBuy Impact players of the week.
Geez, can we just put forward the Lions? I don't know.
Yeah. Good
I
call.
mean, how was that performance? That was unbelievable. I mean, that starts. I mean, whenever you go up there, Glasgow go up there, when they conceded, what was it, 26 points in the first 30-odd minutes? And then you know they're going to try and chase the game and their wheels are going to come off. But, I mean, that performance was unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, you're trying, if you want to single out someone, you can single someone out.
Yeah, I kind of like the Q and Horn's try at the end. Off the turnover, and then he was kind of sprinting and then jogging a little bit, and then a step and another step and a bounce and then jogged on and eventually scored the try. So that was a nice way to finish it.
That last minute was so frantic. It's high-felt rugby when you're chasing a game. Glasgow run themselves off their feet. The Mahashi try, the Quinn Horn try, the Krappies try, where can't blank on his name, skipper Eighthman. For the Lions.
Frankie Horn.
Frankie Horn puts a little footwork on. Yeah, it's amazing tries, but like their start was incredible. And we were all nervous about that one for the Lions.
Yeah, Henko van Wyk, fantastic game from him.
For the doubles early on.
Yeah, I'd like to mention another player, CI at the Sharks, 18 years old, was a schoolboy last year, making his debut against the Ospreys away from home. And he looked comfortable. He looked good, exciting. Look, there'll always be one or two mistakes. But I think a good debut from a player, I think we're going to see a lot of.
Yeah, it's crazy to think he was still at school last year. You know, he looked comfortable in that position. You know, he wasn't scared to go for the high balls, to have a go on attack. And you can just see that turn of pace, you know, that'll make him very dangerous. You know, we've seen Yaku Williams. We've seen at the Bulls, the winger, the youngster.
Cheswell
Uster.
Were you buffering there, my boy? Yeah.
Cheswell Uster. I think it's exciting to see these kids, with
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
electrifying pace come onto the scene and not being scared for the contact, not being scared to have a go. I think that's where South Africa has really South African rugby as a whole has made a significant step up in our approach to games. So it's so lucky to see that. Can
Yeah,
I
but it's
mention
also
one more
lucky to
player?
give-
Because sorry,
Mention him,
Shimmy, the with the WeBuy
Tell me, sorry.
moment of the week. Now I don't know whether you watch the game, but the
Impact player
Scarlet's
of the
Cardiff,
week.
yes, Scarlet's Cardiff game. Okay,
Didn't watch it.
the loose head, Kemsley Matthias. Okay,
Yes.
got the ball and he threw like a skip pass. Okay, skip two players. Okay, in midfield, gets the ball midfield, full pace to his left, throws a skip pass. Tane Plumtree gets it, dives kind of out or jumps kind of out the field, gets the offload. They score a try. Johnny Williams scored the try. But like that front rower,
That ball.
Matthias, that ball just off the left hand, and the commentators hardly said anything about it. I was like, "Jeepers, how's that skill set for the loose head?" So
100%. Yeah.
yeah, so that
No,
was
fantastic.
pretty cool for me.
JDV, a game you commentated on, Connaught against the Stormers. You're right there.
Yeah.
You and Matt were holding hands in
Yeah.
commentary. Talk to us, boy.
No, I mean, disappointing from the Stormers with all the, and I think the emotion, it plays a part, but then again, you need to be able to put the emotions aside, in terms of what happened to Chippy and all of that, and then you need to be able to go out and deliver. And I think, for such a big period of the game, the Stormers were able to put pressure on the opposition, play in the right areas of the field, but not being able to convert that into points. And then once they got the lead, a proper little buffer, just to put that knife in and kill it there, it seemed like they started opening it up again. That example of two quick lineouts that they took, they were in the lead. And they take two quick lineouts, make the game fast. The one was like extremely risky one to throw in between three Connaught players, and then you lose it from there. Whereas the Connaught team, inexperienced Connaught team, and you could just see their youngsters, they were brave. They were making plays. They were kind of positive all the way in their approach, and then eventually when the opportunities were there, they were able to capitalize on it. So, yeah, it was a big result in terms of the context of the log and where the Stormers are at, and they could have found themselves, top of the log, but they're not. So, yeah, they'll kick themselves in terms of that one.
Yeah, I want to break it down a bit too, because I think in the first half they were unlucky with the scrums, and then also whether they scored the try or not, Connaught, it's that's irrelevant now. But Connaught was physically up for it, and there's certain games the Stormers don't like. They don't like evening games in Cape Town or away for that matter, when it's slippery and the conditions is a bit slow, or when it's raining. This was a midday kickoff. There's an error rate to them, but then they show fight. Jovan Roos scores a cracker. Sasha scores that one in the second half. They go up 24 points to 14, 18 minutes to go. And you go, all right, they've weathered the storm here. They're going to try and go, play nice and steady rugby, close it out. And if there's opportunity, go for the bonus point. Ruben van Heerden, unfortunately, comes on the field. First kick off straight on him, doesn't get close to it, knocks it on. He goes down the blind side, bites in, leaves Leland's us. They score a try. Don't panic. Nothing to panic about. Nothing's on. They chip it down the middle. And yes, the ball bounces right or bounces back, but no one puts a name on. Warren Klantz at 15 there, and I know it's tricky, but it's like a high ball. Someone's got to claim. There's 4 Stormers players in and around there. There's one Connaught player. He picks it up and they score that try. And then they trying to chase a game down, ultimately intercept pass, and they lose by 33 points. For Connaught, they had to win. It was a must win for them. And that's the issue coming towards the end of the season. Now there's a bit of daylight between the top 9 and then the 10th position. So for the Stormers, they've got to go on tour, and they're playing Ulster and Cardiff. And that's going to be a tough finish for them. And they're going to play Glasgow in Cape Town. The weather at the moment's turned. It's going to suit Glasgow to a T. So yeah, their run-in is all of a sudden looking a bit wobbly, and you want to be finishing second or first on that log if you're the Stormers, and that's such a good opportunity. So yeah, it was a disappointing watch.
And I think from a South African point of view, it's like, that basically puts it out of reach for the Sharks as well. Whereas if this, and the Sharks are to blame as well, because I think, they were good enough to get a win, on the weekend as well, which they didn't. But, it certainly puts them out of reach. And as you mentioned there, Skulk, it's small little moments in the game, that could so easily have turned the game, in the Stormers' favor, and it could so easily have been a bonus point win for the Stormers. But those little moments and the panic that set in, I think that's the disappointing thing.
Yeah, can we we've got quality players at the moment. Shimmy might know better, but there's an issue we don't have wingers. But I think we've got to get Damien either taking charge. Damien Willems, so this is at 15. Or playing at 12. And if there's an injury concern, then maybe 15 is his place at the moment. And eventually, because we've got to get him more involved. I mean, he's a good winger. He does decent stuff on the wing. But you want your best players to touch the ball the most amount of times in a game. And at 12 or 15, that's what happens with him. But at wing, he sort of, I feel, for me, it's just a waste.
Yeah. It's opened up the log, though. What people aren't talking about is Leinster or third, same points as the Stormers. And we know about the power. I mean, that's the powerhouse. That's the team, obviously the current champions, and they've slowly gotten on with their business. They haven't played the best rugby, but 51 points, Stormers 51, I think Glasgow 55. They play each other. Could be a massive swing also this weekend, depending on what happens. And then Ulster, also a lot of home games coming up. And the Vodacom Bulls have got the easiest run-in with, I think they've got Benetton and Zebra at home. They've got Scarlets this weekend. So the Bulls, they're not maybe log position, they're not there. But in terms of what's coming up, they've got a nice highway, open highway.
Yeah, this sort of reeks of, the Stormers slipping down and playing the Bulls in a quarterfinal. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Well, I mean, Leinster on the weekend, they were exceptional for the first 60, and then Deegan got a red card. Contestable. Van Cock, geez, he went absolutely flying. I think he got hit midair and did a somersault and somehow landed, on his side, which, it was a yellow card that got reviewed. But then, so they were up 29-0 against Ulster away from home. That's so clinical. And then they conceded 3 tries back to back to back. So 29-21 was the end score, but they're the sleeping giants. They're going to be probably finishing first if Glasgow doesn't turn this mid-season or end-of-season slump around.
Yeah. No, interesting times, guys. Kunu was good. Brilliant try. He'll definitely be in the Springboks. Let's talk about the team that's on fire at the moment. Lions against Glasgow. Lions playing some good rugby.
Unreal.
Yeah, lovely rugby. And it just seems like a team that really understands the way that they want to play. I think that's I think Chris Smith has brought he's been able to steady that ship at 10. And they know exactly the way that they want to play. They're all in sync. They understand what areas they want to play. They understand when they want to attack. And defensively, sometimes lapses there still, but solid enough against a tricky team that can score tries from anywhere, like Glasgow. So this result would give them a lot of confidence going into the last 3 games. Look, they've got Connacht this weekend. I think we'll see Connacht likes to play that way as well, ball in hand. I think Lions will get a victory there, but then Leinster and Munster away the last 2. So they need a victory this weekend, and I think there's no reason why they can't do that.
Yeah, to the Lions fans, they're up in 4th at the minute. I mean, how good is that? You haven't seen them there for ages. Favorite try from them on the weekend? Sorry, I forgot about that one. Quick tap, Klabekanya, short pass to SJ Kotze.
Short pass.
Yeah, there we go. The little tip on to his mates. They're playing some exceptional stuff. Look, they've been together for a long, long time. I think Chris Smith's calmed it down nicely. They've actually got a very decent kicking plan through Morne van der Berg and Chris Smith. They don't overplay their hands, so you don't get those soft moments where they sort of hung themselves by playing too loose, too much rugby in their own half. But then they're also at the moment, something where the Stormers was the leaders is that transition rugby. They're the king of the transition rugby. Someone makes a mistake, they pick it up, right people get it. Franco Horn stays in that wide trams. Mahashe, the open side flank, I actually backed him on the weekend to be most valuable player. He's a nice little player in the loose. Ruan Venter is dominating contact, and it's the first time in a long time where he's not been injury prone. He's had a run of games. So, I think the Lions is looking really, really good. Again, the problem for us is you can't see them getting a win in those last two games, Munster, Leinster away. And that sort of brings all our South African sides in and around that same congested area. And what we would try and avoid is having, us knock each other out in a semi or quarter. The Stormers for me they've got also a tough run in show.
Lions could beat Munster away. Jean, sorry. You'll probably disagree with me, but they can beat Munster away.
I agree. And especially now where the weather gets a little bit better.
He's definitely not well today, Sham. Something's up with him. Yeah.
It's pala pala.
Munster's got they've got their own issues, internal issues there as well. So I think the Lions, with the confidence that they're playing with, they can. I suppose it'll be an upset in a way if they do get a victory over there, but I think it's doable. The Leinster is just ticking along, and they're always very difficult to beat in Dublin.
What's the chat on the street in Munster there in Limerick or Cork? What you hearing, Jean? You got your ears on the ground.
Roger. I think Roger Randall is joining them as well now as assistant coach.
Yeah.
So obviously,
all New Zealand coaching staff, Chiefs,
coaching staff, but lots of change there. It just seems as if they're not, Munster's struggling to get the big names to play for them. Leinster's totally dominating that from a youth point of view and being able to attract the big names. So. They're struggling a little bit there in Limerick.
Next one, guys, Bulls, Dragons. Bulls, big result. Dragons can be tough, especially at home, but a proper win. Tight in the first half, but 47-7 at the end, though. The Bulls could go on a special run.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a great victory. So, a great victory for the Bulls, the way that they executed the second half. And what really stands out for me, and I think is a massive, massive bonus for South African rugby, is Marco van Staden getting more time as hooker. And he had a solid game this weekend again, in the loose, in the tight phases as well, and his dart's pretty accurate as well. So I think that's a massive value add for the Boks and creating depth at hooker.
Yeah, that pack of forwards is dominant when you play the Welsh sides now. The scrum gets pulverized. So I think it was just a matter of time. Obviously, the weather was decent. So, like when you saw Willie LaRue come off the bench and he sort of stepped into that 10 role, and then you've got Devin Williams off the back of it, and they sort of started playing some expansive stuff. It was beautiful to watch. But the damage for the Bulls and the key to their success, I think, is their pack of forward, and that scrums especially. Like when they come up against better sides, and on the weekend, you'll see soft moments in their defense. First phase try, pretty simple, ball out the back and a short line off the back of it. Their setup just never quite looks correct. Like they're either too wide, dipping in, or vice versa. So I think the better sides will be able to score a lot of points against the Bulls, but then they do have some, they're special on attack, whether that's through the pack of forwards and their maul, or that is through transition play. There's a lot of good attacking threats there. So the Bulls have got a lovely run in. So they can potentially go, 5 points all the way till the end of the season.
Yeah, look, if we look at it now, the Sharks are done. They're 11th on the log, lost now. Can they? I'm not sure they can make it to the top 8.
No. What's that gap there? There's a nice little gap now between ninth place. Between ninth place, I think Connacht's on 40-something, 43, and then there's like a 10-point buffer. 44, and then there's 10 points down to 10, 11. That's too much. The Sharks have got an easy run in, but unfortunately this weekend's result is no good.
Yeah, so also you need to ask yourself, Shimmy, like
Yeah.
where will they find their points? So, who will drop points, first of all? So teams in the top 8 need to drop points for the Sharks to be able to obviously make it, because they can get a maximum of 15, which takes them to 49. But the Bulls in 8th place just need 4 more points to get to 49. So the question you need to ask is, will they be able to drop? And if you look at the Bulls, with their fixtures lying ahead, you would assume that they would get 4 or more points. Cardiff, in 7th place, they're playing the Ospreys this weekend. Glasgow away the following weekend, and then the Stormers at home, the last weekend. So there's a possibility, but also, I don't really see that happening. So statistically, or with the points we have at the moment, the Sharks can still make it, but I don't think. I don't think
unfortunately, the guy,
Disappointing.
the weekend, their performance, first of all, you got to do your own thing. And then also the fact that the Stormers, lost against Connacht. Because, like, if the top of the log runs away with it and you leave, like, 8th, 9th, 8th, 7th place to sort of battle amongst you, so you can easily overtake them. But, yeah, I can't see them get in the top 8.
But another one, Scala, is Cardiff versus Scarlets on the weekend.
Yes.
Scarlets were leading 24 points to 7 with 10 minutes to go. Then a yellow card, then another yellow card. They end up losing the game 28-24. So if Cardiff lost that game, they stay on 41 points. Then suddenly it's game on.
Yeah.
Then it's game on, because then Connacht moves into 8th place. So then it's possible again. But results not going their way. A couple of results, but also just down to their own fault, not winning that game, which they should have.
Quick one, guys. The Shim bin. The worst thing. I know what mine is. The worst thing you saw this weekend. Can I start with this one?
Please give it.
Please do.
The Ethan Hooker late.
Yeah.
The pop
I agree.
shoulder. That's a disgrace.
Yeah, and I think the disappointing thing is
yeah.
also that not just the injury is the biggest concern, but also the fact that restart the game with a penalty. Because that is the way that the rules are written, and maybe even from that point of view, the game could have changed. But it's the fact that it is totally late, and it's diving down onto the player after the try is being scored. Yeah, it's extremely disappointing for Ethan Hooker, and a player that I think can add so much within the international arena as well.
Guys, we got to move on here. URC predictions. Then we've got our Millennium 15 versus top 3. Okay, so Edinburgh versus Sharks away. Edinburgh at home.
Edinburgh they got a victory on the weekend. It was like a close one, like a 31-30 or something.
I think they played Zebra or something like that. I'd say Sharks. Well,
we want to say Sharks, Shimmy, but we don't know if they've got one in them.
Sharks. I'm going Sharks.
We're back to the Sharks, but it can easily go the other way. Like this weekend, against Ospreys.
So Edinburgh then.
No, we go Sharks.
Okay, Stormers versus Glasgow Warriors.
Oof. You guys go first. Let me be the
I'll
decider.
say Stormers desperation at home. Glasgow beat them in Stellenbosch last year. I think they'll be awake to this one. They need. There's a desperation around that team. Stormers.
But guys, it's not going to be pretty.
Okay, Lions, Connacht.
Lions.
That will be prettier. Yeah.
Scarlets versus Bulls.
Bulls.
I think the Bulls are gonna come alive.
Okay, our Millennium 15 top 3. Okay, we've got a new section where we're going to put together our ultimate 15 from players post the turn of the millennium, so 2000 to the modern day, and we're going to put forward 3 players in a position each week.
Oh, no.
Okay, and then choose one of those to be in the starting 15.
Yeah.
And today it's fullbacks. So Jean, let's start with you. Fullbacks.
I want to go Christian Cullen.
Yeah, he was post to. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, Cullen.
Now you have to select someone else, Scala. We need 3 options, and then people must vote.
You can go Mills. Israel Folau, Jason Robertson.
Who are you going, Shimmy?
I'm going Jason Robertson.
I've got an Aussie that you need to go for, Scala. Left-footed.
Oh, Latham.
Joe Roth.
Joe Roth.
Or Joe Roth.
Or win. Yeah, I like Joe Roth. He was silky smooth. I'm trying to think.
Folau was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Folau, I mean, I didn't play against Joe Roth at all, I don't think. Or maybe only just. He was wing then. But Folau gave me proper panic when he was sweeping back and I was in the blind then. Cullen would be if I can pick one, I'll go Cullen. I mean, I've scored
But you
45 or
can't.
46 tries. I know.
Yep.
But you can't, because I
Okay,
picked
Scala,
it.
just for the sake of Mills.
Miles is good, but like I think Joe Roth was probably a bit silkier.
Okay, so these are three
So
options.
okay, but are you going Joe Roth or Israel Folau, Scala?
I'm going Joe Roth.
I'm going Jason
There you go.
Robinson. He played wing and fullback. And Josh
No, it's
Lucy
a
and him
good call,
interchanged.
Shimmy.
But yeah, I'd go Jason Robinson. Okay, guys, the Betway section. Now we're going to pick a game. Betway match of the weekend. We know it, guys. 4 things from the coming: winning margin, man of the match, first try scorer, and winning team. Let's pick our game first of all. Stormers Glasgow is the big one.
Yeah.
Number 1 versus number 2. We agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, winning
Okay.
margin. I'd say Stormers by 5.
Geez, so we got to be panicky this week. I think Stormers with a penalty in the last 2 minutes.
That's a big call, son, but you're calling it.
Called it.
I am going to go Stormers by 7.
Okay.
Okay, man of the match. I'll say Damien Willemse.
Yeah, I'm going to go Paul de Villiers.
Yeah, good call. Because the
Just
breakdown
wanted to
wasn't
say
good.
that now.
No,
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah, no, you can say, well, look, I'm not
No,
wearing
I
a
wanted to go
Jim
Paul de
jersey
Villiers or
again.
Dion Free. So you're going to go Scala, Paul de Villiers or Dion Free, whoever's starting the game for them at
Open
open
side.
sides.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd call. You
Okay,
can go for
cool.
either if you want to.
I am going to go for... Who did you go, Shimmy? You went?
I win Damien Willemse.
I'm going to go Sasha.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, first try scorer, I would...
Andre
first
Venter.
try scorer. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
that's a
thought
good
more.
call.
I'd go Paul de Villiers first try if he's playing, or Dion Free. One of them, because they changed them around.
Given the
And
rest.
then we've got winning team we all
Okay.
agree with. So that's it. So all these Market Plus, okay, they're available to bet on individually in the Betway app, which you can download now via the web link in our bio. Gentlemen, that's it for today. Thank you very much.
I'll let you. Do you look?
I'll
Am I
finish
making you
off how we
embarrassed like
started.
that, partner?
So I'm going to wear this outfit when I go to Paul. I'll tell him I'm an old boy. Thank you very much, chaps. Scala, I can see you at the Scalianos, JDV, and
Thank you.
Pala Pala there. Hopefully you get out safely. Look after those dollars, my boy. Thank you very much, everyone. Catch all the action live on the World of Champions Super Sport and catch us on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Boks Unpacked. We'll be back next weekend for more rugby.
Cheers, guys.